women, or men, who have kept their virginity until marriage due to tradition, or religion. What was the first night like? My husband and I were both virgins when we got married. We finally lost the V card 3 days after the wedding. On our wedding night, he couldn't get the right angle to get in and had a premature detonation. I was too shy to help guide him in. He said, "Shit. I'm so sorry." And then we went to sleep. Repeat for a few days until finally boom. It hurt for a second and it was over another second later. We've been married 10 years now, we're happy and have a good, healthy sex life. I think we're both rather easygoing and found it rather funny. It helped that neither of us had high expectations that it was going to be magic the first few, 50, times. We still tease each other about it now. Premature detonation is my new favorite phrase. My wife and I were both virgins when we got married. The first time was great and funny to look back on. I didn't even make it fully inside her before blowing my load, but after 15 to 20 minutes we were right back at it and had better success. We went at it at least one other time that night and then were humping like rabbits as soon as we woke up the next day. So much sex that week. Virgin here. Getting married tomorrow. I'll let you all know. Wow. Definitely should have checked this in the morning. Currently pooping to respond. You're welcome. First time was awkward, short, really funny, and she said I need to try to thrust longer, so that was funny and demoralizing. Also lingerie looks really good on beautiful women in real life, too. Anyways, I'm going back to banging my wife. It was fine. The most awkward part was that both of us forgot lube and texted the maid of honor, asking her to go to a store and get us some. The big problem that we have is that we were together for 4 years before we got married, so we got really good at not having sex. Even after being married for a few years, we sometimes seem to forget that it is just a thing we can do instead of watching old Futurama or Top Chef. My wife and I both waited until marriage. Our first night was a disaster. We actually got walked in on by strangers while we were stripping in our hotel room because the hotel switched our room last minute and forgot to give the other couple a different key. It took me quite a while to get it up. I wasn't particularly nervous, I think the little guy was just shy. She said later she didn't even notice. I spilled the entire bottle of lube in the middle of the bed. Although it was kind of a disaster, we were able to laugh about it and we still had fun and look back fondly on the night. My husband and I were both virgins when we got married. We were very excited, not only to have sex for the first time, but to get to live in the same house, go to sleep in the same bed, etc. Up until we got married, we never spent time alone together in his apartment or my dorm. It wasn't as if we just had great sex immediately. I was painfully tight and also a bit fearful, and he couldn't last for very long, but that didn't really matter. We talked openly, and just spent time together and touched each other and enjoyed being together, and laughed a lot together. We played rock paper scissors for who would take their clothes off first. So honestly, the first night in terms of sex was pretty disappointing, but neither of us were disappointed because we weren't just looking forward to sex, we were looking forward to being married. And we were thrilled that we were finally married and got to live together. By the end of the honeymoon we were better at just the literal mechanics of sex, and no less thrilled to be around each other and be married, and be naked. I got drunk at the after party, woke her up in the middle of the night to have sex, couldn't get it in, couldn't keep it up. I found out that whiskey dick is a real thing and that it is very tiring to be on top. So that was my first night. It's pretty memorable to say the least. She likes to poke fun at me once in a while about how eager I was and how sleepy she was. What a gal. I'm glad I married her. Mine was actually pretty unforgettable. I wanted it to be special and memorable, so we rented a really nice hotel room with a jacuzzi. I bought a really nice white lingerie set, got a bottle of wine with 2 personalized wine glasses. When we got to the hotel after the wedding, I immediately jumped in the shower because my hair was covered in birdseed. After my shower, we got in the jacuzzi, enjoyed some wine, and made love. Twice. After the second time, we got some junk food from the vending machine and reminisced about the wedding while eating it. Left the next morning after breakfast and stayed in a tiny 1-bedroom cabin off the grid for a few days. Absolutely perfect. I wouldn't trade it for the world, that night meant so very much to me. The sex itself was pretty much what I expected. It was painful for about the first 3 months. But that goes away. Perhaps unpopular or unbelievable, but for us it was incredible. It symbolized how our love had grown since we first started dating. As Catholics, it was very important to us that we were both virgins when we were married. This is a choice we made and stuck to for both religious reasons and commitment to each other. The biggest relief, even now, is knowing that we have never slept with other people, so we don't have to worry about STDs or the like. When we see a show or read something that talks about the worst sex ever or the best, we really don't understand that, because as far as we know we're good at it. After a couple years of being married, it's still as good as the first time. Like I said, the peace of mind that I'm with someone I trust and know is worth the wait. That's all for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and let us know what you want to see next. If you have time, we highly recommend to go check out this thread in the link below. There are some great posts that we had to cut out but are worth a read. Also, check us out on Twitter at Reddit Historian. Thanks for watching. Until next time.